We had been married for a year, lived in an apartment. We're moving into our first house. And while we were moving in, I mean, literally carrying boxes into the house, we got a phone call. And this was back when phones were things that hung on a wall that had a cord. And so we picked up the handset and they said, "Hi, this is Birmingham Boys Choir board president. You've been recommended to conduct the Birmingham Boys Choir. Would you be willing?" And I said, "Sure." And she said, "Great, you go to camp in 2 weeks." I said,
I think it was 1 week.
"You go to camp in 1 week?" And sure, that'd be great. We had just finished celebrating our first anniversary. And I went to Boys Choir camp, had no clue what I was doing.
And there were only 20-something boys?
Oh, less than that. They were like 13. We borrowed some boys from John Carroll to come in and sing tenor and bass parts. And that was from all the records we could find, that was the first time they had given a Christmas concert. And it was just like 20 minutes of Christmas carols. We've come a long way in that amount of time. She was teaching at Vestavia Elementary West. I was teaching at John Carroll Boys Choir. Since I was little, I wanted to sing in or conduct a boys choir. And so it was a great opportunity, but we had 4 jobs between us at the time. And so it was one of those things where you love it while you're doing it. And when you're doing the other jobs, you're not thinking about this, you're thinking about doing those other jobs. And it was that way for a while.
We had 6 jobs between us.
Sorry, we had 6 jobs between us.
I was involved in choral music all my life. Growing up in a Baptist church, I was in children's choir and youth choir and sang in the choir, played for the choir, and then went to Sanford and was a music major.
I went into music because I'm really not very good at anything else. So, except washing dishes. I'm really pretty good at washing dishes. I've always enjoyed teaching. I've always enjoyed music. I've always enjoyed writing. And so over the course of doing life, it kind of boiled down to, this is where my skill sets lie. So let's just focus on doing this. We both have very musical families. Is that a fair statement?
Your family is incredibly musical.
Well, so is yours.
Lately.
Yeah. And so it was just kind of natural to go toward that as just a life placement.
Looking back on it, my father used to ask me, he would say, "You could have gone into any field that you wanted to go. Why are you going into music?" I don't think he understood for a long, long time.
And yet,
sorry, when he started hearing the boys singing in other children's choirs that I was working with, he got it. And never asked me that again. Sorry.
It's okay, sweetheart. Recognizing the value of planting these things in the hearts of these boys. Music, yes, but the joy of it, not just, and the creativity of it, to help boys recognize that they can be, and often are, inherently creative. Boys have changed just in our time. They are exposed to things so much earlier now than they were in my generation, and boys thrive on permission, and they get a lot of permission to be athletic, which is great for the boys who are athletic. They get a certain amount of permission to be academic, but they don't get a lot of permission from society to be artistic. And it's so important that they grow, because boys are very physical kids, so they need to have that some form of athletic presence in their lives. But they also have so much music in them. And just the way we are physiologically put together, these boys are singing machines. They're just built for that. I think it provides for them not only permission, but a certain gravitational pull that brings out artistry in them that they're not even aware of what they could do. But when they are all together and when they're all working and they're all pointing to a goal and making the best sound they can make, they don't have any idea how powerful they are. They can move the toughest rock to tears. And it's not just in performance. Sometimes in rehearsal, we'll finish and they'll just kind of look at each other and say, wow, that was really good. And that was us. That was really good. With golly, how many opportunities do they have in their life experience to share that with friends?
I think seeing the courage of so many of the boys who stick with it all the way through high school, that's really impactful because they have so much pressure from elsewhere to do other things. And then to see the boys after they've grown up and they come back as alumni and we see what they're doing now, and they can tell ways that the Boys Choir has impacted them.
We see them once a week, and there's a certain camaraderie that grows in that, and you can see over the course of years a certain progress. There have been so many times when the little ones, the 5th and 6th graders, develop relationships, admiring relationships with 11th and 12th graders who are, maybe this their proctor at camp, or maybe they're on tour together and they sit down to a meal and just happen to sit by guys who are the one generation ahead of them. That high school kid can say things to that younger boy that I can say the exact same thing, but if he hears it from his 12th grade friend or his 11th grade friend, it actually means something. I think that's one of those things that when we see that, we go, that right there, that's why we do this. That's why we do this.
We get to do what so few people get to do, not just few teachers, but just people in general. We can start with a boy when they're 8 years old, and so many of them go all the way till they're 18. So we watch them grow completely up, and it's just such a privilege to be able to watch them do that.
I would like to say I was smart enough to think of this, but I wasn't. They just kind of organically grew out of the experience. How many times did I have to say to a child, if it's not yours, don't touch it. That'll keep you out of trouble. And then eventually that became life lesson number 2. It's good to be good looking, but you gotta be smart. So it kind of grew out of that. And some of them are just funny, like always make sure your wife and your girlfriend are the same person.
That's my favorite. You can't.
Yeah. And at some point in the late 90s, we began to codify these. And so we would actually assign them numbers, and then we started writing them down, and now they're in their book. And that one, life lesson number 3, always make sure your wife and your girlfriend are the same person, is the little ones, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders kind of go, okay, because they have no idea what you're talking about. But the 5th through 8th graders, the senior choristers, they get all embarrassed because we're talking about girls. And then the 9th through 12th graders kind of roll their eyes. Oh, Mr. Kenny, you're so old fashioned. And yet, I have had multiple boys tell me either on their wedding day, I've had boys call me on their wedding day, would say to me, Mr. Ken, I'm so happy I can tell you that my wife and my girlfriend are the same person. So you can laugh at me if you want to for saying that, but planting that seed in their young and tender hearts can pay lifelong benefits. I think the more we can strengthen manhood in our communities, the better everybody is going to be. Another really wonderful thing is when you teach the boy and he grows, he goes through the program, he's loved it, he's enjoyed it, he goes off to life, he gets married, and he has children, and he brings his son. I've had dads say to me, I want my boy to have this experience, to experience what I experienced here. Just by being here as long as we have, we're now starting to teach grandchildren. My boys are having boys of their own and bringing them
We're not just starting that. It's been going on for a while.
Yeah, I know. We're really old. The Boys Choir is thriving. We are completely full. And we've got more boys auditioned this year than we've had in ever. And I think part of that is the strength that they see and experience, because it is more than music. It is training for life, and that includes training them how to shake a man's hand and look him in the eye and say, "Good morning, Mr. Ken, how are you?" How to hold a door open for a lady, how to clear your plate from a table and be responsible, how to clean your room before you leave, how to look out for each other, how to sing this beautiful music, how to blend your voice with other people. It is all of these things. And I think the value of that not only keeps boys here, but it brings boys here.
I guess the best thing I can say about Kenny, as far as what I've learned, is that if you asked him today what his salary is with the Birmingham Boys Choir, he would have no clue. He has absolutely no idea.
That is very true.
And he would do this even if it were zero. He would still his job.
Woman.
Because he loves it so much, and he loves the boys so much.
Yeah, I tell him every now and then, I can't believe I get paid to do this. This is great.
He truly believes it's the best job in the world.
I do. I have the best job.
One word to describe the Birmingham Boys Choir is family.
Singing. Brothers.
Essential.
Friendship. Friendship. Friendship.
Formative.
Brotherhood.
Adventurous. Unity.
Camaraderie. Confidence.
Transformative.
Discipline.
Influential.
Guidance.
Joy.
Opportunities.
For the Ritchie family, the word would be Berg.
Life-changing.
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 A blessing.